Welcome to Honeybee. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Real stories of love, lies, and betrayal, where every truth stings. Let's begin. My name is Andre. The day I walked in and saw my wife kissing her boss, everything clicked. In that single moment, I understood just how long their relationship had been growing and how carefully they had arranged their own private celebration. What was supposed to be my surprise for Sophia, a gesture to honor her big promotion, turned into the moment I realized our 4-year marriage had been quietly competing with another relationship, one she clearly valued more than the life we had built together. At 34, I had worked hard to build a thriving consulting business for local restaurants and hospitality companies. My job gave me both financial stability and the flexibility to spend time with my wife. Sophia, meanwhile, was employed at a mid-sized tech company. When we got married, we were united by shared dreams of building a successful life and eventually starting a family. Sophia's ambition and brilliance were among the traits that first drew me to her. I had always been proud to stand by a woman whose career reflected her dedication and intelligence. But over the 4 years of our marriage, I began to feel that our shared goals were slowly being overshadowed by Sophia's personal career ambitions. Whenever I brought up starting a family, Sophia would ask me to wait, saying she needed more time to solidify her career before stepping into motherhood. She worried that becoming a parent too soon would hold her back from reaching leadership positions. I understood her concerns and was willing to be patient about when to have children. But little by little, I started noticing that nearly every part of our personal life was being pushed aside: vacations, quality time, even basic moments as a couple, all postponed so Sophia could keep advancing her career. As she became more focused on climbing the corporate ladder, her presence at home grew more limited. I quietly took over most of the household responsibilities: cooking, laundry, grocery shopping, errands, because she was always buried in work projects, attending networking events, or preparing presentations. At first, I didn't mind picking up the slack. I believed in supporting Sophia's growth, trusting that partnerships sometimes need to be in balance when one person is chasing a big goal. But as months passed and this temporary arrangement became our normal routine, I started feeling less like a husband and more like Sophia's personal assistant, there to manage the logistics of her life while she focused on her own priorities. Even with that growing sense of disconnection, I still felt proud of her achievements and held on to hope for our future. Sophia reassured me from time to time that once she earned the promotion she was working toward, things would calm down and we could turn our attention to our marriage and family planning. I wanted to believe her, but her behavior kept changing in ways that unsettled me, even if I tried to ignore what those changes might really mean. Her phone started buzzing late at night more frequently, often with messages from her supervisor, whose name appeared only as initials. Whenever I asked about them, Sophia would dismiss my questions, saying they were urgent work matters I wouldn't understand. She also began spending more money and time on her appearance: new perfumes, stylish professional clothing, a consistent workout schedule. When I complimented her, she explained that it was all part of building her professional image. I told myself these changes meant she was growing more confident and sophisticated in her career, not that she wanted to look attractive for someone else. Looking back now, I see those signs of what they really were: her quiet preparation for a relationship that was already growing alongside our marriage. Still, I remained too trusting, too focused on supporting her dreams, to see what was happening right in front of me. Then came March. Sophia came home one evening beaming, sharing that she had finally earned the management promotion she had been pursuing for more than a year. Her new role came with a big salary bump, expanded responsibilities, and a clear path toward further advancement. I was genuinely thrilled for her. I suggested we open a bottle of wine to celebrate, but she told me she was too exhausted and wanted to wait until the next day. I told myself it was understandable. After all, she had worked hard for this. The following day, I asked her out to dinner so we could celebrate properly. But Sophia said her boss was throwing a small office party after work, and that we could celebrate together later. I tried not to take it personally, though I felt a sting that her colleagues would celebrate with her before I could. Instead, I decided to create my own private surprise to show her how proud I was. I bought a beautiful charm bracelet with an engraved message connected to one of her favorite work quotes, something meaningful that tied her professional achievement to our personal life. I picked up a bottle of expensive champagne and ordered a cake from a bakery near her office. I even rehearsed what I'd say when I surprised her, a short toast to express my pride while keeping it professional enough for her colleagues. Part of me worried that she might feel awkward about me showing up unannounced, but I pushed those thoughts aside. Surely, I told myself, any wife would be touched to have her husband make such an effort to celebrate her in front of her team. That evening, I left work early and drove to her downtown office building with the champagne, cake, and bracelet in hand. Most of the building was dark and quiet. The workday had ended hours ago. I followed the sound of distant laughter down a hallway, expecting to find a small group gathered in a conference room. But as I got closer, I realized the sound was coming from Sophia's private office, and it didn't sound like a group celebration. Her door was cracked open just enough for me to see inside. What I saw stopped me cold. Sophia was sitting on her desk, barefoot, her legs wrapped around her boss as they kissed, slowly, passionately, like two people who knew each other's bodies well. The champagne bottle and glasses sitting on her desk made it painfully clear that this was a prearranged private celebration meant just for them. My chest tightened, and for a few seconds I couldn't breathe. The woman I had loved and supported, whose success I had been celebrating, was kissing her boss like I no longer existed. I stood there frozen, taking in every detail, feeling like my entire marriage was unraveling in front of me. When they noticed me, their shocked expressions only confirmed what I already knew. Without saying a word, I placed a gift box on the floor outside her office and walked away. I didn't scream or demand answers. I was too numb, too devastated. I rode the elevator down in silence, my carefully planned surprise now shattered, replaced by the reality that my marriage had been quietly competing with another man for months. On my drive home, Sophia texted me, saying she was sorry and that the kiss was a mistake. But I knew better. What I had seen wasn't a mistake. It was a confirmation of an affair that had been carefully hidden. By the time I got home, I knew I couldn't stay there that night. I packed a small overnight bag and left before Sophia returned. Her messages kept coming, first asking where I was, then trying to minimize what I had seen, claiming it had been just one kiss in a moment of emotion. But the champagne, the intimacy, their comfortable closeness, it all told me this had been going on for far longer than one night. Eventually, I contacted a family lawyer and began divorce proceedings. When I exposed the affair publicly, partly to explain why our marriage was ending and partly so a boss's wife would know the truth, it turned into a workplace scandal. Sophia was furious, claiming I was sabotaging her career. But I didn't care. She had made her choices. Her promotion, the thing she had worked so hard for, became overshadowed by the fallout of her affair. Instead of being celebrated, she was now whispered about. For months, I reflected on everything. The late-night messages, the sudden wardrobe upgrades, the emotional distance. I realized that by supporting Sophia and taking on so much at home, I had unknowingly freed her up to spend even more time with him. My efforts to be a good husband had made it easier for her to betray me. When the divorce was finalized about a year later, I moved into my own apartment and poured my focus into rebuilding my life. I grew my business, reconnected with friends and family, and rediscovered who I was outside of my marriage. Months later, Sophia texted me saying she regretted how things ended and missed me. But by then, her words no longer carried weight. Whatever regret she felt came far too late. Her affair had taught me one of the most painful but valuable lessons of my life, that real partnerships require mutual respect and shared commitment. The charm bracelet I never gave has still sits in my apartment, a reminder of the difference between the marriage I thought we had and the reality I eventually had to face. In a way, catching her that night was a gift. It gave me the clarity I needed to stop investing in someone who had already chosen a life that didn't include me. Sometimes, the most painful truths are also the ones that set you free. Thank you for listening.